Hey, ladies. Whew, it has been a while, but we are back with our self-love conversations. And you guys know me. My name is Gloria Ward, and I'm so happy to be here because tonight, ladies, we are talking with a wonderful fitness guru who is going to, one, tell us a story, two, tell us how we can get ourselves together and get ourselves in shape, and also why we need to have this whole aspect of self-love when it comes to our bodies. So I just want to introduce you ladies to Kat Ostromova.
Ostroumova, you're right.
Ostromova. And we're going to talk about a lot of things as it relates to our health and why it's important for us to, be in shape and stay in shape. So, Kat, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk with you tonight.
Yeah, so my one of my interesting things is like tell us your story. Like how did you get where you are now?
Yeah, honestly, when they say it's like a blessing in disguise, it's exactly what it was. At the age of 17, I've been diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, which is an overactive thyroid condition where your thyroid glands producing too much of the thyroid hormone. So my body was like in overdrive.
Mhm.
Um, and then my doctor put me on a pill, which my body rejected. Then I had to go to the hospital and get radioactive iodine treatment. That didn't work as well. So they had to repeat the treatment. But unfortunately, that was an overdose, and that morphed my condition into hypothyroidism, which is an underactive thyroid condition. So now my body wasn't functioning fast enough, and kind of all the organs and all the body systems started to really slow down. And with that came a number of symptoms like major weight gain, difficulty losing weight, anxiety, depression, hair loss, joint pain, muscle ache. I mean, brain fog. Like it was just insane. Whatever, like everything, how it just kind of happened. And I think the biggest one for me was anxiety, depression, brain fog, and weight gain, and then the inability to lose weight. I lost myself because I'm a very naturally a very positive, bubbly, happy person. And I just wasn't for like over 10 years. So I was like stuck in somebody else's body, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so that's really how it all began. And I just kind of said literally one day, like, enough is enough. And I need to do something to change it because for 10 years, no one is helping, you know.
Right. And I wanted to talk about that because, you're 17, you find out that you have hypothyroidism, which means what exactly?
So my body went into overdrive. So for example, my heartbeat was beating so fast when I was relaxing and sleeping that I could feel it in my stomach.
Wow.
And it would be of somebody that's running, constantly running, right? I was sweating all the time. I was so sweaty. I was very anxious all the time. I had the bulging eyes, like the Graves disease, right, which happens from overactive thyroid. So it was like the opposite ends of the spectrum. One was super extreme up here, and then when they tried to fix it and lower it and make me normal, it went all the way down here, right? So
Wow.
it was crazy. I lost a lot of weight when it was very over, and then I gained a lot of weight when it was very under. So yeah, it was like a non-ending battle. And it really had a toll on me, like mentally as well as physically, but my mental health was in a rut as well with that, because I just couldn't find a balance and like able to help myself, you know.
Right. And I'm thinking for a 17-year-old trying to figure out what your body is going through anyway,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
and being that 17-year-old trying to live life, what was the life like when you were around your friends? Were you still going out? Were you still doing things? Were you isolating yourself? How was the environment for you going through this?
Yeah, like when I leading prior to diagnosis, because it was like maybe a year or two of like weird symptoms of like being anxious and like very hormonal to the point where I can't even explain like why I was acting the way I was. I was lashing out at my family, and I can't even explain why. I hated going to school. I would skip class, but I can't explain what it is. And I would always be sweaty and always very irritated, right? And my mom's just like, there's something off. Like, I understand a girl going through like her period, and she's 17, okay, whatever, but there's something off. This isn't Kat. Like, this isn't our positive, happy girl, right? So I wasn't really like isolated, but I also didn't feel normal because, when my friends were, like going shopping for certain clothes, it's like I would be either losing weight or gaining weight, and it's like it's all over the place. Or if my friends were going to have fun at a party, like I was very anxious, like socially anxious to go out, even though I'm a very social person. So something balance wise was off. And so I wasn't really isolated, but I also wasn't very social.
Yeah.
So I would say that I didn't really get to enjoy like the high school years, how you would see it in like movies and like hear it from like other friends. That definitely was not my high school life. I wasn't
Right.
thriving during high school.
And I wanted you to explain it because, like a lot of women, especially when you're dealing with young girls, that's the first thing you say is like, oh, she has a period. And every time she gets it, it's this, or,
Yeah.
these hormone changes and everything, where it's like, no, at some point you have to see that there's something wrong. Right.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
when you go to the doctor and you get the medication to help you with it, it goes the other way. Right.
Yes,
So what
yes.
was that process like? So everything slows
Oh,
down and now what?
yeah. So I'm an only child, and like I'm a girl, and my dad is like way older than my mom, so like super protective. And it's like this is just a family disaster. Like, don't tell anyone, don't tell your grandmother, like she's sick, this is a disease, like what are we gonna do? End of the world. And my parents were immigrants, and like being fairly new to Canada and like being limited in the language on their end, they took me to the doctor, and doctors being Canadian doctors, like the medicine, medications, it's so like first world.
Mhm.
It's like whatever they say goes, right? So there was no research done on my family's end, and I would never blame my parents for it. They did the best that they could. They took me to the best doctors. They got like 2, 3 opinions. But that's just what it is. Like, you're medicated in a certain way, and unfortunately, back then and even now, there's not enough information and research for hormonal imbalances like hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, PCOS, and other things for women
Agreed.
especially. And so unfortunately, the pill that was available at the time was Synthroid, and it still is.
Mhm.
And we can't seem to progress and get it in, at a bigger scale and do more research, because it is such a common disease worldwide. Like in Canada alone, I know statistics in Canada because I'm the member of the Thyroid Foundation of Canada. 1 in 3 Canadians has it, and 50% of those people don't even know that they have it
Wow.
because it just goes undiagnosed.
Right.
Always brush it
Because you
off.
think it's hormonal, you think it's something else,
Yeah,
right?
like I'm always lacking energy. It's the
Yeah.
weather, it's the lifestyle I'm living, it's being stuck in traffic, like it's the burnout of like the everyday life. No, like we're humans, we're meant to thrive, we're meant to have energy, right? So if something is wrong, I always urge everyone, just get it checked out, because you're not supposed to feel like you have brain fog all the time. You're not supposed to be sluggish all the time, right? We're supposed to thrive and live a happy, positive life. So if you feel something's off balance, it probably is. So get it checked out, right?
Right. So you get to your point, you say no more, and you start to take matters into your own hands, and you say, you know what? I got to be able to figure this out because I have to be able to figure out what is good for me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What was that journey like? Did you study? Did you just take what the doctor said? How did you find out what would work for you?
Yeah. So at the age of 17, it was hyper. And then by the time I was 19, it was hypo, because it took 2 years to figure that out and kind of get me diagnosed and regulated and then overdosed me. And so now at 19, now I'm old enough to make my own decisions. But again, I don't know anything. And I feel like this is just how it is. And then it progresses and progresses. So 10 years up until the age of 29, I just kind of went with it. And it got worse and worse and worse. And it gets worse with age because we're aging, we get older, our hormones change, right? So our organs change. And so I just was like, at this point, like, do I just accept the way I feel? And I felt more and more sluggish every day. I had more and more brain fog every day. Depression kicked in hard, and I'm not a person, or I didn't think I would be prone to depression, because, you know, again, like, parents were very positive upbringing, same with me always prior to being diagnosed. And then I remember just the weight just kept on creeping on and on and on. I started training with the trainer. I wasn't losing any weight, I was gaining weight. Then I got another personal trainer, and I was having major joint pain and muscle weakness that I went to my family doctor, and I'm like, my knees are buckling. And my trainer, but they didn't even give me that hard of a program. I just can't handle the workout. Like, what is wrong with me? I'm 29. Like, you know, I'm supposed to be an active, healthy woman. Like, what? I don't have kids. Like, what's going on, right? So the doctor's like, well, you can't be training because you have mitosis, which comes with joint pain because of hyperthyroidism. And it's like, oh my God, like, I feel like I'm like in like an 80-year-old body, right? And so I just couldn't handle it anymore. And I think for me, the turning point, like, believe it or not, was when I was in the mall one day and I was trying on clothes and nothing was fitting anymore. And it got to like a wake-up call. Like, it was like slowly size 8, then 9, then 10, then 12, then 14. And then I remember like 14 was like, kind of tight. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this isn't me. I just feel, and listen, every woman is beautiful at any size, but for me, I just felt,
you knew that there was something wrong.
I'm not myself right now, right? This is crazy. And I would literally feel like I'm waking up every day heavier and more swollen and more bloated. Like, I just felt puffy everywhere, right? And that was the breaking point, because I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't wear waist trainers anymore. I can't buy Spanx anymore. I can't hide behind, remember those peplum style dresses? To hide the pooch. I'm like, I am done. I want to be able to wear nice clothes that I want to wear. I want to be able to express my style that I have in my mind here, but I can't show it. And I want to wake up happy. Like, I'm tired of being tired, and I'm tired of being miserable every day. And so I went to my doctor again, and bless her. I mean, she's just like old gen doctor that just goes with, you know, the medicine, and that's fine, totally fine. And never to knock anyone's knowledge and hustle, but like, when the patient says to you, like, I know you're giving me a specific dose of the medication, but I just have every single symptom, nothing is helping, and all they do is go based on the blood test. And like, most of my clients that I work with, they're all women, and most of them have a hormonal imbalance like hypothyroidism. We all have the same story across the board. I feel like crap, I feel sluggish, all the symptoms are there, I'm not losing weight, but my doctor says I'm fine because the blood results show that it's within the norm. Right. And so my doctor's like, no, I'm sorry, like, we can't up your dose, like, we can't do anything because it shows like it's normal. And so I said, you know what, no, that's it. Like, I started to actually do my own research, and it was hard because there wasn't enough. Even now it's like wishy-washy, but back then there wasn't enough of anything on hypothyroidism. Like, what is a hypothyroidism diet? What is a great food for thyroid? What shouldn't you eat? I mean, my doctor said, dude, just walk a lot and eat clean. You know, and so I started walking a lot, and I was walking my 10,000 steps every day, and I started to eat clean. So, for example, I'll give you an example. Instead of, I thought I was doing the best thing ever, I was actually gaining more weight due to this. Instead of like having chips at night or popcorn, I switched it to edamame, like the soybeans that you get at the sushi restaurants. So I buy them in Costco, put them in a microwave, steam them, wouldn't even add salt, sauce, nothing. Sit there, watch my TV show, and like snack on them at night. Soy is one of the worst things you can eat for your thyroid because it reduces the production of the thyroid hormone. So not only was I underactive, I was completely shutting it down. But I mean, I'm eating clean because it's green. Right. But there's no info on it. So it was literally trial and error. And then I found like this website of like Indian medicine and like herbal and like old school, just like whatever they used to do. And then there was like some herbal things that you can take, and teas and vitamins. And so I like ended up ordering it, and it was the most expensive thing, and it was disgusting to taste. But I just started trying on myself. I was desperate to feel good. You know, I was desperate to take control of my life again. And bit by bit, slowly, I started to feel a little bit better. I also started to work out. Now the workouts were tough in the beginning because my trainer at the time didn't know, again, she wouldn't, because why would she, right? It's just, it wasn't, again, known, that there are certain workouts with hypothyroidism, with a piece, like a hormonal imbalance, that you shouldn't be doing, like HIIT cardio versus lift. So high intensity interval training is a no-go for people that have a hormonal imbalance. But I mean, we live in a world where it's like HIIT trend, like 20 minutes, hardcore,
Right.
get sweat on, you have to be sore. That means you have the best workout. That's actually wrong for hormonal imbalances, right? So we were doing a lot of that, and I felt sick, and I wasn't losing the weight. But because I was doing the right food and the right supplements, I started to feel better. So, you know, it was trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. And then finally I was like, I can't do these workouts anymore. Like, I'm telling you, I feel sick. Can we just focus on weight training? And I'm just going to continue my walks. And bit by bit by bit, the weight started to come off, and I started to kind of release the brain fog. Like, really, it just started to lift off. Like, you know how the fog lifts from the city? It started to lift from the mind. And I started to better, and my mindset, my outlook on life started to change. I'm like, okay, I've got something here. Like, this is, I feel better, I feel good, you know.
I'm so happy, and that's why I said I wanted to talk to you, because you know, you tried everything outside of you to solve an inside problem. And nobody could tell you what was going on inside of you. You had to discover what that was for yourself. And once you did, now it is to the point where you basically put yourself in a position where you can help other women understand their bodies more. And the great thing about that, Kat, is a lot of women will just stop at the doctor, like you said, and would just take it and take the pills and do everything, right? But it was something that you knew inside of you, like, yo, this is not right. And I'm going to try what I need to try for myself to go ahead and figure out how my body is going to react. Now, with that, a lot of people get scrutinized for that, saying, oh, you're part of the woke generation. Oh, you're trying all these different things. You should follow the doctor, right? And you should do what you need to do. And if the doctor says this, then that's it. And when I was reading about how now you have programs and you can show women how to eat, it just put it all together, where when people find out things that work, you should listen, because basically you're a walking testimony, where there's so many women who have hormonal imbalances and problems. And like you said, we don't know what's going on. We're just going off of, you know, what we've been told or what we Googled.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
And now that we have an expert who can let us know, hey, this stuff you're going through is not normal. This is the stuff that you can do. You know, this is how you can start eating. It kind of clears the air, because in our gut, we feel it that something's wrong, but we just don't know how. And that's my next question. How do you help a lot of women understand that when they have this hypothyroidism, how can they balance it? What is it that you provide for them?
Absolutely. So yeah, with the doctors and the medication, I'm all for that. I have a lot of my clients, majority of them are still on PCOS medication, hypothyroidism medication, because everyone's cases are very different, right? Some have zero thyroid completely, so they need to rely on that hormone production, right? But that simply masks the symptoms. We got to get down to the root. And unfortunately, again, the society we live in, we like the quick fix. We like the magic pill, but nothing great comes easy, right? And people are afraid of change. People are afraid of success, even sometimes. I've been hearing that a lot too. Like, I'm afraid of what's going to happen on the other side. I'm afraid of, you know, being better. I'm afraid of being great. How are my friends going to accept me? Or how are they going to see me differently? What about my husband? What about my kids? Like, there's a fear behind it too, and a fear of hard work. Like, let's be real. People are scared of
Absolutely.
hard work because it is hard work. It's really digging down deep into your lifestyle. And that's what I do. We do a initial consultation call, and I usually say it's half an hour, but I love talking to my potential clients and really like dissecting their entire life and day and lifestyle. So we take the call for like an hour or two. If, as long as you have time, I have time. So I really get in there and I say, okay, so take me through a day in the life of, and now this is Monday to Friday. What happens on the weekend? So, because I want to, initially people are like, I do everything. I'm doing everything. I tried everything and I'm taking the pill and I have no results. Okay, so now what is it, everything that you're doing? Then I'm hearing, well, I have a glass of wine at dinner every night. And then no, I don't work out at all. Maybe I'll do like a walk with a dog, 20
Right.
minutes. I've tried everything, right?
Right.
How long did you try it for? I went like on this diet for 2 weeks. Come on, right? You can't give up after 2 weeks at all. So my programs, the custom plans for hormonal imbalances or just general weight loss or glow up, as I like to call it, they start with 3 months minimum because it takes only 21 days to form a habit. And
Right.
even then, it doesn't stick very hard. So after 3 months, it somewhat starts to stick and become a lifestyle. So I want to get down in there and really figure out, how does your lifestyle fit into building these healthy habits? And if you're going to be able to make it, because there are some clients that I had to turn down and say, you're just not mentally ready for it. Some people don't go into this with an open mindset of willing to put in the work. They're given the right tools 100%. I guide them every single step of the way. The program is 100% a success rate, a 100%, if you're going to do the work, because all the tools are there, guidance is there, motivation, support, accountability. It's foolproof, but you have to do the work. And unfortunately, some people are just simply not ready, or their why is not big enough, right? Some people have to hit rock bottom, really rock bottom, to say, okay, now I'm ready. I've had a client, her and I were on and off, on and off, on and off for about 3 years. 3 years. And finally, she had a scare at the doctor's twice, a lump in her breast, and also pre-diabetes because of the weight issue. Plus, she's already had her thyroid issue and Hashimoto's. And that wasn't enough, because it's like, oh, thyroid, I'm on med. With the lump and the pre-diabetic, that for some reason, something was like, ding, 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 Kat, I need you back. I'm sticking to it. And she has, and she's been doing amazing, right? But it's the mindset has to click.
Right. And that's the biggest hurdle, is getting, people to understand that this lifestyle change, you cannot do what you were doing before, right? You
Nothing
cannot
if
have,
nothing changes.
like your style of pleasure changes. It doesn't mean that your life gets worse. You're just figuring out other ways in which you can have a healthy body and still continue to do the things that you love to do. And with that comes taking some stuff out, right? So,
Everything
when
in
it comes to the
moderation.
program, when we're talking about the exercise, if someone is, let's say, over the age of 50, can they still do your program? Is it high intense? They most concerned about, are they going to be starving all day? Is it this? Like, can you walk us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. No. This is a lifestyle plan. So with a lifestyle program, I don't believe in starvation. I don't believe in chicken, rice, broccoli, or tilapia 24/7, like bodybuilder style diet, because it's not sustainable, right? My goal with my clients is to make sure that when my help is no longer needed, after it's been 12 weeks or 24 weeks or whatever the plan that they go on, they're able to maintain and sustain the results and this lifestyle. So the program has a meal plan with variety of foods, with the list of foods that they tell me that they love and they get to choose from. The program has workouts that they enjoy to do, but also keeping in mind their age, exercise level and hormonal imbalances. If I have a 50-year-old woman who has no hormonal imbalances and she's done HIIT before and that's what she enjoys and her health is great, absolutely we'll continue that. We'll just tweak a few things and but if I have somebody that's been trying with hypothyroidism and they're gaining weight while going to like a high intensity class or something at the gym, then we're absolutely cutting that out, right? But there's no starvation on this. Again, that's not sustainable. Diets fail, and I hate the word diet because people think it's starvation, right? Diets fail because people can't sustain them. Keto works in the beginning, but then you can't sustain it because you can't forever live without carbs. And as soon as you put the carbs in, your body starts attacking it and holding on to it. It doesn't even burn it as like energy. It stores it as fat because it's scared that you're going to take it away again. So we don't take anything out. The only thing I do is I take out the foods that is harmful for your thyroid if you have a thyroid condition, or harmful for your ovaries if you have like a ovarian cyst or endometriosis or PCOS or any other hormonal imbalances in that area, right? So that's the only thing we look at. And I believe in balance. I believe in 80-20 rule. I'm at a point now, like once I was able to really hit my goal and get healthy, my thyroid levels are under control, I feel great. Now I incorporate like a drink here and there and going out with my friends and going on date nights and having my burger or pizza. Like I don't count calories. That's not sustainable either. I believe in portion control, intuitive eating. I eat when I'm hungry. I don't when I'm not. So these are the things that you're able to learn on the program because again, it's your lifestyle. It has to be sustainable. You're not going to go on vacation and starve yourself all day because God forbid you feel like you're scared to get bloated. You're also not going to go on vacation, lay there on a tanning bed calculating your calories for the day. That's not sustainable, right? You want to enjoy yourself. So 80-20 rule, balance is key, but you also need to get into the mindset of you can't be indulging every single day or even every single weekend with everything you see in sight, especially for someone who has a hormonal imbalance. Because now it's not even about your body composition and the way your body looks. Now it's about what's going on here and internally and how you're affecting your entire body and its function.
That is awesome. So, Kat, how do we follow you? How do we learn more about the program? What is it that we need to do?
So my biggest area that I use is IG. I pretty much use it as my daily journal. I document my personal life there a little bit, show off my client transformations, client journeys, my own. So IG is a great place to contact me. I check all of my private messages. So if somebody wants to send me a message request, absolutely. If you want to follow me, I follow people back. And also there's a link in my bio in IG that will take you to a free consultation call if you choose to chat with me about your health and fitness questions or starting your journey. We can definitely hop on a call as well, and I'll be happy to meet you also.
Okay, and what's the name of your Instagram?
It's Kat Ostroumova.
All right. Well, Kat, thank you so much for being here. I definitely appreciated the wisdom and just the information, and kudos to you for finding out what works for you. And once you found that out, thank you so much for giving back, because a lot of people would just have stopped. But I'm so glad you've taken that step to continue, because now a lot of women get to understand their bodies just a little bit more. And what we know for sure is once you start to take care of yourself more, you start to love yourself more. So I'm happy about that.
Thank you so much. It was so great to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. And you have a good night, okay?
You too. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye.